Want to cruise more for less? Today I'm sharing 26 proven cruise money saving hacks that let me live 120 plus days a year on a ship. Real tips you can use to save thousands on your next cruise. And wait until you hear hack number 12. It saved me $500 on one sailing alone. And I promise at least one of these tips will save you enough to book your next cruise sooner than you thought possible. So how does someone like me spend a third of the year living on a cruise ship? It's not about being rich. It's about being smart with your cruise planning. I've been cruising since 1987, and today I'm diving into the exact strategies that make this lifestyle possible. Let's get started. First, let's talk about booking because that's where you'll find the biggest savings. These booking strategies alone can save you thousands for a cruise. Booking early is fantastic for getting the best deals. For my 2027 World Cruise, booking far in advance got us free flights, free drinks, free dining, and 3,000 onboard credit. Back in the day, you could find last-minute deals, but since the restart of cruising, demand is so high, it's hard to come by a really good deal. Now, you can sometimes find a good deal after the cruise final payment date, but I would only do that if you're extremely flexible. You'll have less choice of cabins and your travel expenses will be higher since flights booked late cost more. So how does this compare to booking early? It's really a trade-off between certainty and flexibility. Shoulder season cruising is amazing for savings. Avoiding holidays and school breaks means lower prices and fewer crowds. The week after a holiday, that's my sweet spot. You'll get great service and better deals. Don't get hung up on the newest ship. I paid 3 times less for a balcony on a 20-year-old ship than on the latest and greatest. The experience is still fantastic and your wallet will thank you. Okay, if your eyes are glazing over, this next one is where I went from cruise enthusiast to cruise strategist. The next few tips are what separate the amateurs from the pros. If you're flexible about ports, Western Caribbean itineraries are usually the best value. More competition means better deals. Is visiting a specific port worth paying double? For most people, the answer is no. Repositioning cruises are a hidden gem. I did a transatlantic for under $100 a night. Solo. More sea days, but if you love the ship, it's unbeatable. And there's lots of cool, fun parties and activities on board. Here's one of my favorite strategies. Book back-to-back cruises. Saves a ton on airfare, hotels, and transfers. One flight, double the cruise time. It's like getting a 2-for-1 deal on your vacation. So those are some great booking strategies. But what about once you've chosen your cruise? Let's talk about how to maximize savings with your cabin and itinerary choices. Your departure port makes a huge difference. I used to cruise out of San Juan, but flights were pricey. Now I do 8-night Southern Caribbean cruises out of Florida. Cheaper flights, longer cruises, more bang for your buck. Always compare the total cost, not just the cruise fare. This is crucial. Have your travel agent check for price drops before you make that final payment. I've saved clients thousands this way. Cruise lines don't automatically give you the lower price. You need to ask for it. Drink packages and specialty dining go on sale all the time. If you see a better price, just cancel and rebook. It's that easy, and the savings can be substantial. I set calendar reminders to check every few weeks. That's hack 11. Now we're getting into the ones that even cruise veterans thank me for. Which tip has been the most helpful so far? Let me know in the comments. These tips are making you think. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I post real cruise strategies every week, especially for smart travelers who want to cruise more for less. Have you joined the Facebook group for your sailing? You should. In 2020, someone spotted a pricing error, and we all got the drink package for $12.99 a night. That's less than one drink, and it saved me over $500. We also found people wanting to share private excursions, which saved us all a ton of money. These groups are like having hundreds of people looking out for deals for you. Let me tell you about how I saved my daughter $500 with this next hack. It's one of my favorites because it worked exactly as planned. I researched which suites were still available, then booked a suite guarantee instead of a specific suite. She got the exact suite I would have picked anyway, but for less than a balcony cabin price. It's all about doing your homework first. Now, before I share my onboard saving strategies, if you're finding these tips helpful, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel, and I'd love to know which tip you're most excited to try in the comments below. Once you're on board, there are so many ways to keep saving. These next tips will help you enjoy all the luxuries without luxury price tag. Wi-Fi can be expensive, but here's what we do. We purchase Wi-Fi packages in advance. One person, multiple devices. Since we both work from the ship, this saves a lot compared to buying two separate packages. Just make sure your cruise line allows multiple devices on one plan. Want to try those amazing specialty restaurants? I only book them when they're on sale or for lunch. We get the same great food, same service, but at 50 to 60% off dinner prices. It's one of the best values on board. Most cruise lines let you bring 2 bottles of wine and a 12-pack of soda or water on board. That's a lot of savings right there. Check your cruise line policy before you sail, but this is an easy way to save $60 to $80 right off the bat. Before you buy that drink package, do the math. Most cruise lines make everyone in the cabin buy the package. If you have a non-drinker like me, it's usually not worth it for your cabin. My husband drinks, but I don't. So we carefully calculate if it makes sense. I'll link a drink package calculator in the description box. You can find that by clicking the More button. So my husband loves a good happy hour. So skip the package, enjoy the daily specials. Sometimes you'll save 30 to 50% on drinks. Each cruise line has different timing for their happy hour, so check your daily planner. Here's a simple hack that saves me at least $100 per cruise. I bring a laundry bar of soap and a travel clothesline. I hand wash most things instead of paying $3 to $5 per item for ship laundry. When you're cruising as much as I do, that adds up fast. Now, let's talk about what happens when you leave the ship. Port days can be expensive, but they don't have to be. I almost always book my tours with reputable companies instead of through the cruise line. It's usually 20 to 50% less, and you get smaller groups. I'll put a link to my favorite company in the description. That guarantees you'll make it back to the ship on time, or they'll pay for you to get to the next port and give you money for your trouble. Here's the secret. You don't need an excursion in every port. Sometimes I just stay on the ship and enjoy the empty pool deck, or I explore on my own. It's relaxing and saves tons of money. We rarely eat in ports for 2 reasons. It saves money, and I have food allergies. It's much safer on the ship. We used to waste money and I'd get sick until I realized that it was safer and smarter. If I'm going to be out on an excursion all day, I bring safe prepackaged snacks. Remember, you've already paid for the food on the ship. If you're visiting beach ports, bring your own snorkel gear or inflatable raft instead of renting. It pays for itself in just a couple of uses, and you know it's clean. Plus, you'll have it for future cruises. If you forget something, buy it in port, not on the ship. Ship shops have huge markups on essentials. Most ports have pharmacies and convenience stores nearby with reasonable prices. In a moment, I'll share my #1 insurance tip that could save you thousands and prevent a ruined trip. But first, let me tell you about one more cruise hack that most cruisers miss. Always bring your own over-the-counter medication. Ship prices are outrageous. I've paid more for basic pain relievers than most people pay for a cocktail. A small medicine kit takes up little space, but can save you a lot of money and hassle. This is so important. Skip the cruise line insurance and buy third party instead. Since I cruise so often, I buy annual travel insurance. It covers all my trips for the entire year and saves me hundreds compared to buying separate policies. Cruise line insurance only covers you on the ship, but my annual policy gives me door-to-door coverage. If you cruise more than twice a year or even travel anywhere over 100 miles away from home more than twice a year, definitely look into an annual policy. And if you have an international phone plan with your phone carrier, like I do with Verizon, use it in port instead of paying for expensive Wi-Fi on the ship. We cruise so much, we went with an international plan, which actually gives us free calling and free unlimited data in all of our ports. It's been a huge savings for us. You'll get better service and save money at the same time. So there are my 26 cruise money saving hacks that let me live on a ship 120 days a year. Which tip surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. Now that you know how to save money on your cruise, you'll definitely want to watch my video on cruise packing mistakes. Click right here to watch that next.